name is Desmond Savage. I'm the chairperson in Ireland in a group called MESA. I'm also on the EMEA board of MESA. So for those who haven't heard of MESA, MESA is a not-for-profit organisation that promotes best practice in the area of manufacturing IT. The link with ISA, MESA primarily promotes the ISA 95 standard, which is that space between automation and typically your ERP systems. But also security was mentioned, ISA 99 standard, and from an integration down to the automation layer, often ISA 88. So I've given this presentation before at ISA events, and there's a lot of overlap between ISA and MESA. So if the ISA 95 area is of interest to you, I'd really recommend checking out MESA, not-for-profit, similar to ISA, promoting best practices. So in the last couple of years, with a lot of hype, as was mentioned by Andy there a second ago, like there's a lot of talk of Industry 4.0 and smart manufacturing, and MESA have got in on, are looking at that area too, and looking at promoting areas on smart manufacturing and Industry 4.0. So just quickly on MESA, so it's value, and in my day job, as I work as a consultant with ATS Global, and a lot of what I do is go into companies and establish what the business case is for these investments at the manufacturing layer, and there has to be a business case for it. If you're considering investing in manufacturing IT, keyword is investing, so what is the value? So MESA, there's a lot of work in that space trying to establish where is the value, where manufacturing meets IT. It's mentioned not-for-profit organisation, established in 1992. There would be 2,000 or 3,000 people globally involved in the MESA organisation. They've supposedly put together about €20 million worth of IP that can only be accessed through the MESA domain. You need to be a member of MESA. It is not for profit, but to ensure the quality material, they do look for membership, and once you're a member, you can access this material. So, how is MESA set up? Well, members, similar to myself, would go out in the community and try and create some knowledge about MESA. But the three main pillars within the organisation is peer-to-peer. So we have special interest groups in lots of countries around the world. Wayne is part of the Siemens there, is part of our special interest group here in Ireland, so we typically try and organise 2 or 3 meetings a year, just promoting best practice and networking. You have point of view, so MESA publishes a number of white papers every year, and I'm going to quickly discuss one of those white papers, which is on smart manufacturing. And then lastly, MESA has a global education program. So in cooperation with IMR last year, MESA ran training not too far away from here in Rathcoole, IMR, Irish Manufacturing Research Centre. They hosted the training. And I'll mention about some other training coming up in Cork in March as well. And then we have a governance board then, who look after the direction of MESA. I recommend checking out MESA.org. You can sign up to the newsletter. This was published last week, and this is the type of discussions. We have cybersecurities up there. We have smart manufacturing. There's a few conferences coming up in that. But if you are interested, recommending signing up to the newsletter. A couple of years ago, MESA spun out MAMI, Manufacturing Operations Management Institute. And for those of you who are familiar with ISA 95, ISA 95 describes level 3 as manufacturing operations management. So we can get all technical, we don't have time to get there today, but that's where the acronym MOM comes from, Manufacturing Operations Management, and that's defined in ISA 95. And MES, which a lot of people might have heard of, Manufacturing Execution Systems, is a technology that resides at the level 3. So in my definition, and there's lots of definitions out there, MES is a subset of MOM. Okay? So welcome to the world of TLAs, like 3-letter abbreviations, but that's where we live. So again, there is this organisation, and coming up in March, and I got these printed up just for a bit of promotion, but there's a 2-day version of of what I'm talking about here now being scheduled for Cork in March through MESA. Jan Snowy, who's very senior, he's actually president of MAMA, he's giving the training, I will be supporting him. But if this topic interests you, you have time, I really recommend checking this training out. And it's being done in conjunction with Tyndall. And Tyndall are doing some really interesting research in the area of smart sensors and that. So it's a smart manufacturing workshop, 2 days. I've actually gave this workshop myself in Australia in October, and it's very interactive, and it's, I'd recommend it. But I thought it'd be better to get a foreigner to come in and give it in Ireland, because everybody seems to appreciate a foreigner, me going to Australia or Jan coming from the Netherlands. So, but Jan is the president, got him over for this, supported by Tyndall. So if you have the time, I'd recommend checking it out. Please grab on them on the way out if interested. So just topic was demystifying smart manufacturing. So I'm just going to, MESA have a white paper on this, so I'm quickly going to go through that white paper. So what it has done is it's broken down, maybe I should take a step back. The people behind this white paper would be members of MESA, and they could be solution providers, they could be such as Siemens and Rockwell are involved also. You have the ERP companies involved. There's integrator companies like ourselves, ATS. You have the end users. In Ireland, Janssen, Johnson & Johnson, Medtronic, a lot of these big companies are quite active in MESA. So typically, a call is put out to develop a white paper, and a group of people are brought together from solution providers, integrators, and end users. So a group of people got together about 2 years ago and started working on this white paper, which was published in 2016. But a lot of the stuff we saw on the hype cycle there is mentioned here, but the white paper tries to show a roadmap to how you can work towards the ultimate goal of mass customization, product as a service, business intelligence. But it gives you a roadmap, it gives you somewhere to start. Again, 2-day workshop on this, so I'm not going to do it much justice now in 5 or 10 minutes. Another slide I pulled out from this is looking at, we hear this term Industry 4.0, we hear about smart manufacturing. Industry 4.0 is a very German-centric, European-centric term. Smart manufacturing is more what's coming out of the US. But there's a lot of things, synergies there between the two of them. So what this group worked at doing together is looking at the Internet of Things, Industrial Internet of Things, digital manufacturing, grouping that up to smart manufacturing Industry 3.0, and then putting this whole umbrella of smart manufacturing on top of it. So just to finish up now, I'm just going to do a few comments on Industry 4.0 as seen in Germany, and also some comments on smart manufacturing as that's been driven out of maybe more out of the US. So it's spelled with an IE. It came out of Germany, Industry 4.0, and it's a dual strategy. And I think this is something maybe not very PC, but you don't hear too often. But Industry 4.0 is an initiative coming out of Germany for Germany, and the reason why is that Germany will benefit because of their manufacturing will benefit on one hand because manufacturing will become more efficient, and secondly, which country is going to make all this smart manufacturing equipment? It's Germany. So Germany is going to benefit twofold because of smart manufacturing, and that's why Angela Merkel is inviting Barack Obama over to give the Hanover Fair and give this a lot of hype, because this is good for Germany ultimately. So, you know, and this was published, and this is in the report, so it's not me saying it, it's published material. So that's maybe just something to ponder on. A bit more on the final report as published in 2013. Again, strategy for Germany. It's conceptual. People don't exactly know where Industry 4.0 is going to go. It's a vision at the moment. It's not just the IT or the internet. It's not just technology. It will require significant capital expenditure, and I suppose that's maybe going back to one of the first points we made about the value. Where is the value in this? There's definitely value to be got there, but it's something you need to work out where the value is before you should invest in this technology. it's more important for discrete or semi-batch than it will be for process industry, and also then the change is likely to be gradual. And again, there's a lot of reasons why this change is likely to be gradual. So a bit more on smart manufacturing, which is coming out of the US, and again, this is important. Like it was mentioned there, that Factory of the Future, the book. What was the name of the robotics book? Sorry, Rise of the Robots. So it's predicting lights out factory, but you know, let's not lose sight of we do need smart people as well to run these factories and that. So again, nobody knows the actual direction of where this is going, but you have one people saying that it's going to be all automation and lights out factory, but then there's another stream of thought saying that people will be required even more, and smart people will be required even more. Who's going to develop these algorithms for smart? I've added in here smart products as well, and this is key and centric to a lot of what smart manufacturing is about, is that before we made products and they left your factory, that was the last you saw of them. The products are more and more now that there's data analytics or data capturing technology being embedded into the products. So when they go out in the field, that you can still keep gathering data on how your product is performing. And we see that already now with medical devices and with the orthopedic industry in Ireland, it's happening already. So again, it's kind of a shift of paradigm, but by having data coming back on how your product is performing, you know, there's a lot of value in that data from a maintenance perspective, product life perspective, what the customer wants. Earlier this year I did a project with a Singapore company on hearing aids, and they're looking at investing tens of millions in this space because they see the value with a hearing aid and getting feedback from their customers and optimizing in that. So there is people investing in it. You go to countries like Singapore, it's happening. I don't think it's happening in this country at the same rate it's happening in countries like Singapore. That's something I've seen the last couple of years. So this is more or less my last slide. It's something put together as part of MESA and with AGS, but just a few pointers maybe for people to consider where they might start if looking at Industry 4.0 or smart manufacturing. Anybody who here has heard of cobots? There's a good few of them outside there, but it's collaborative robots. I don't know if it's made it to the Oxford Dictionary yet, but I suspect it will get there soon enough. But so again, this comes back to, it's not just robots, it's people and robots and using smart people. So this term cobots, if you haven't heard it before, I'm sure you'll hear of it plenty in the future. Before you achieve Industry 4.0, like it seems obvious, but again, there's a lot of hype out there. You have to finish Industry 3.0, and a lot of companies still have a lot of work to do in the Industry 3.0. Like the biggest MES system out there in the world, in my opinion, is Microsoft Excel system. That's what companies are using on the factory floor. And you cannot go from a Microsoft Excel system to Industry 4.0. There is a roadmap there. There's work to be done there. The technologies are there. Again, it was laid out. Andy showed some of the technologies that are there. But how many companies are actually doing Industry 3.0 very well at the moment? In my opinion, they're few and far between. And so a lot of work to do in Industry 3.0 before you get ready for Industry 4.0. And a lot of that runs system integration, ties in with cybersecurity in as well. Internet of Things, Industrial Internet of Things, this data. The amount of, there's only, in a mobile phone there's 4 or 5 sensors, and if we look at how those 4 or 5 sensors in a mobile phone has transformed our world through social media and that, in a factory you have tens of thousands of sensors. And what are we doing with all this data? You know, so like we are way behind the social media curve when it comes to manufacturing. There's so much data out there to be gathered, but we're not gathering it, so it stops there. What's the point talking about analytics if we can't gather the data? So yeah, again, and then like the other terms, then like if you can gather that data, then additive manufacturing, 3D printing, that's been around since the 1940s, 50s. It's only taking hold now. Cloud computing and that. So again, just a few. I appreciate this is a very quick talk and presentation, so I'm going to put a few pointers up there, maybe to get people's thought processes going. I would encourage people to maybe check out MESA if you want to get involved. we have a group of maybe about 20 people active in Ireland at the moment. We're trying to formalise it a bit more. As I say, I did a big project in Singapore last year, and it's actually scary how fast they're moving ahead. So from Ireland Inc. perspective, I think we do need to get together more and start working together, because we're in a good place right now for manufacturing, but we need to keep moving forward. And when you travel and you see what's happening in other countries, you can see how quickly we potentially could be left behind. If you're interested in getting involved, we have set up a LinkedIn group, MESA Ireland. So I manage that group, so if I see any invites coming through, we do restrict it to manufacturing people working in this industry. I probably reject as many people that apply as I accept, but if you're manufacturing, you're Irish, I'd like to have you in this group. I'll post these slides up there. You'll see that we have a lot of nice information up in that LinkedIn group. So yeah, that's maybe the best place to go, or contact myself after this, and I'm, as part of my volunteer role in MESA, be happy to introduce your company and look at membership and stuff like that as well. So yeah, that's all I have. I don't know if there's time for questions, or how do you want to handle it?